It's one of those Sundays where you're like, where are the tissues? I know they were under a chair near my row. Jim, thank you. Mother's Day. The honoring and the appreciation. I always loved Mother's Day when I was first early in Unity because I'd never heard that message of honoring the nurturing mother within each and every one of us. And I said, well, I know people who've been raised by their dads. There's the nurturing mother in that dad. Okay, yes. But I was 24, and I was not interested in children in any way, shape, or form. I worked in a middle school. That was enough of serving in a parent role. Middle schoolers. 10 years, got an extra star in my crown in heaven. And what I believe Unity's message of real beauty and grace is that we are all here to mother ourselves and each other. And that comes with the really healthy, strong, loving, and supportive experiences that we have. And that comes with the, the clinical word is the projected images that we put on other people that we've learned through our mothering experiences. This sounds very clinical, doesn't it? Let me take it a different route. When you look in the Bible and you think about mothers, who are some of the people that you think about? Mary, as in the mother of Jesus? Okay, yeah, well that's easy, come on. Who else?
Anne, Sarah.
Sarah? Anne? Yeah? Anybody know Moses' mother's name?
Mary.
And now, you know what? I even have it written down. How do you say that again? Jochebed? Jacobeth. Jacobeth. Remember Moses' mother who found out that the children were about to be killed, all the baby boys. So she, in her mother love, gave up the babe, put him in the basket, told his sister, follow the basket down the Nile River. And when Pharaoh's daughter found it, they needed someone to care for the baby. And so the sister jumped up and said, I know just the woman. In giving away her son, Moses' mother was also able to be with him, nurture him, help him grow. And so some of our mothering decisions and some of our mothering sacrifices, if you will, which is not really a term I care for, because sacrifice means I give something up for me for someone else. And what if in this world we can find a win-win action for everybody? So the choice I make or the action I take might be supporting my child or my coworker, but it doesn't mean I give something up from myself. So that's one thought. We don't have to give something up from ourselves when we acknowledge that we're here to also nurture ourselves. And then my heart this week has gone out to the parents of those young women in Nigeria who were taken from their school. And while I don't think we need to spend a lot of time on the details of what's happened to those young ladies who were taken from their school, take a moment and step back as if you were a parent and you'd sent your child to a government-run boarding school, and they weren't there anymore. It makes my heart break. And you don't have to be a woman or a mother to have that, And yet, because we are human beings, having a human and spiritual experience, what can we bring to the table? What can we bring to our mind? What can we do to soothe our heart? And what can we do to take a stand in consciousness? because we don't know what any individual's journey is. And we don't really need to call it bad, even though my nurturing heart breaks. What we can do is we stand in consciousness that there's one presence and one power in the midst of even that. And so for me, when I see something on Facebook, or I see something in the news, or I hear something in the news, my practice this week has been to envision these girls and say, the light of God surrounds you. The love of God enfolds you. The power of God protects you. Wherever you are, God is. And when we bring that consciousness into our own experience, our own visceral human experience, we've shifted the vibration of the planet. We've shifted the vibration of whatever that experience is. Let's all take a breath together. Somebody said to me one time, I like to go to Unity because I always hear good stories and feel good. I was like, yes. And then there's, after being there for 9 months, the responsibility of having a spiritual consciousness and a spiritual awareness and a spiritual responsibility at times can feel overwhelming. It can feel like more than what our heart can bear. We can also hold that prayer for the soldiers or the men or the group, whomever it is that's a part of that story. We can hold that the light of God surrounds them, and that the love of God enfolds them, that the power of God protects them, and the presence of God watches over them right where they are. Yes, even in the midst of that act, God is. Because we have those same qualities within us. There is no separation. I know that's a challenging one, the victor and the victim. And yet our unity teachings, where we sing and affirm, we release our attachment to the past and to the future. We stand in the present moment and we say, I am a stand for love. I am a stand for God presence. Even when we have moments where we fall short. Many years ago, I was taking my daughter to preschool. It was 7 o'clock in the morning, and at that time, Ogun had to be downtown Kansas City very early, and he left particularly early that day, and so I had everything to do myself. By the way, anyone who's parented more than one child, hats off to you, because I can only do one. And that day was not my shining moment. We were in the car, she couldn't get her seatbelt on, I was frustrated, and I remember stopping the car out of the driveway and turning around and yelling, and you needed to help me this morning, I needed you to help me this morning, why didn't you help me this morning? And I got back in the car, and I drove the whole 4 blocks to the preschool. And as I pulled into the parking lot, I realized, whoa. A gremlin had taken over my body. I had this pure, innocent, beautiful 4-year-old right behind me. And I said, oh, we got to pray. I didn't know what else to do in that moment. And I'm sure the prayer was something like, I affirm that the Spirit of God in you, Joy, helps you get ready faster tomorrow morning. And then I turned around and said, it's your turn to pray. And she looked at me and said, the love between us knows what to do. The love between us knows what to do. I cried. But man, I was going to be late, and I was not about to be late, so let's get on into preschool and let me get to my school. And that's one of the plaques that's in my office that a friend created from having heard that story. Because whether we are in the experience of mothering ourselves, in the experience of mothering a child, and yes, I'll even say it, in the experience of mothering our parents, there is love between us that knows what to do in every moment, in every situation. And I believe that the grace that we talk about in unity is that moment in awareness when we go, uh-oh, I'm really not showing up as my true divine self. I'm not showing up as the Christ consciousness. I'm not showing up as love. Because for many of us, we can get to that moment and be aware, and then we turn around and we beat ourselves up. And that's where that circle of nurturing ourself has to come back in. I recently learned about a Sufi tradition, a spiritual practice. And it's a gift that you give yourself first, and you remember that you're giving yourself the gift, and then you go out into the world and you do it. And it's a pledge for one full day to refrain from the 4 C's. And no, one of them is not cussing. We refrain from complaining, refrain from comparing, refrain from criticizing, and we refrain from condemning. What if we can, in that moment when we realize, I'm not being that perfect love that we sang about on Sunday. Because it doesn't matter whether it happens today or it happens 20 years from now. There's that moment. And I believe that we all have that moment. That moment when we realize that we are more than our bodies. We're more than ourselves. And we are more than our relationships. We are that love. So this morning I want to invite us into a meditation exercise. And I'm going to invite you to bring to mind, or perhaps you've already brought your mother with you, bring to mind that mother in mind or physicality. And if she's crossed into the spirit world, she's here too. And so the invitation is that we give gratitude. We give gratitude for that place within ourselves that received love. Because for many of us, we have had a beautiful experience and a beautiful, nurturing relationship with that mother or that mother figure, whoever that was. And so we open ourselves up to feel that gratitude.
I thank you for the love you gave to me.
So we can feel gratitude. I thank you. I thank you for the love that you gave to me. And then if we had an experience that was less than ideal, it was not the Cosby Show in our family, for whatever reason, perhaps you didn't even know your mom. Perhaps your mom passed, like my best friend in the 7th grade. She passed when she was 3 years old. We can still come to that place deep within our hearts and know that even if the love we were seeking or the love our humanness was seeking didn't feel like it was there, we were called then to be that love. So when our parents have fallen short, we can still feel gratitude for the love we were called to be.
And I thank you for the love you let me be.
So this morning I want you to choose or sing them both, feeling that gratitude for that mother figure, mother figures, really knowing that they came into our life to give us love and to call us to be love. For none of us are perfect. So in that place of appreciation and forgiveness, I invite you to sing.
And I thank you, I thank you for the love you gave to me. And I thank you, I thank you for the love you let me be. And I thank you, and I thank you for the love you gave to me. And I thank you, and I thank you for the love you let me be.
One more.
And I thank you, I thank you for the love you gave to me. And I thank you, and I thank you for the love you let me be.
We are all called here to be love and to give love. Let's remember to give it to ourselves. Namaste.